Now, you were actually there on the day that Harry O and Suge Knight first met.
Yeah. I was instrumental in getting them to meet.
Oh, you set up that meeting?
Nope. It's crazy. Harry was doing Lydia's album.
Right, his wife.
And I had read an article where Eazy-E and Dr. Dre was feuding.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Harry O, I said, you need Dr. Dre to do a track on Lydia. And he said, oh, you right. So that little spark put him in motion to find out how to get in touch with Dr. Dre. So I sparked the interest in him and wanted to get in touch with Dr. Dre, which sent him to Ron Brown, which Ron Brown put him in touch with. We were Selly, so it was like, D was, I don't know if D was still on the floor with us then or not. Little D might have been on the floor with us at that time. We all went downtown.
Little D mentioned that he knew Harry O also.
The most brilliant guy I ever met in the streets that was hustling was Mike O'Harris, Harry O, out of Los Angeles. That's the smartest, business-minded dude that I ever met that come from the streets.
No, we all was in the building together. We were in downtown LA together at the same time. You know, so that spark is what gave him the initial to get in touch with, which eventually turned out to be Suge, was Dre's manager at that time.
So in my interview with Big U, he said that...
When I had no death row.
What do you mean?
I love Suge to death, but he definitely wouldn't have been moving around LA like that. Because in LA, at the time, you wasn't seeing blood. You wasn't wearing no red at that time. That wasn't happening. And you definitely weren't moving like that without major situations.
Do you know what that means at all? Or?
Well, you know, you had a lot of influence. You know, and the 60s was powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I went to the skating ring, one of the reasons I took a pistol because I was going up there where the 60s ran the skating ring. You know, it was their skating ring. You know, so I could see it, you know, if he'd have been on the music. But, you know, that's the same thing with any of us. You know, I slipped on hip hop. You know, I should have been the king of hip hop.
Yeah.
DJ Pooh had took me to a house, and then when I went to Dr. Dre's house for the first time, I spoke to Dr. Dre when I was in prison, but I had never met him personally. But when we went up to his house and met him, he told me, remember that day that you came in that little apartment? He said, I was there.
The greatest hip hop producer of all time.
Of all times, was right there.
Right there.
King T was there, Spade, and you know, it was like, hip hop was right there. LA hip hop was right in that room, you know, so, and I had the money. I had everything, you know. I knew Dick Griffey, you know.
Who ultimately helped launch Death Row.
We negotiated the deal with Interscope.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, I had everything that a person would have needed. I knew Dick Griffey and Otis Smith, 83, 84, you know, so if I would have only had the wherewith to stay into the music business. And they begged me to stop selling cocaine too.
Did you have a relationship with Suge at all?
No, I didn't meet Suge until he was coming in with David Kenner in the visiting room. What it was is Harry O and David Kenner had figured out a way to get Suge in, because you can only people they were letting in was immediate family members. But some way they had rigged where he was acting as an attorney or a paralegal or something like that there to be able to get in. And I met him there the same day that Harry O met him.
You had mentioned Terry Carter. You guys were close?
Me and Terry was cool.
You were cool.
We weren't running buddies.
But you knew.
But I knew Terry well. You know, I knew Terry from Church's Chicken. I knew Big Puddin'. I knew Big Puddin' well.
Okay. When you look at the Suge Knight situation, when he ended up killing Terry.
Yeah.
Accidentally, I guess. But
I think so.
it seemed like an accident.
I don't think that he would, you know, purposely kill the last founder of the Bloods. You know, he was like the last one. You know, and all that history is gone. You know, even Putin, when Putin was in a convalescent home, you know, me and Putin used to talk on the phone, and I was trying to get Putin to write a book, you know, because that was a lot of history that our youngsters don't have now, you know, and Terry was really like the last person that could have wrote that book.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think that Suge would have tried to kill Terry on purpose.
Right. But ultimately, Suge took a 28-year plea deal.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you?
He must didn't feel that he had to win, you know.
Well, I interviewed Reggie Wright, who was the head of Death Row Security, who was talking to Suge while he was locked up. And the way he explained it to me was that...
I talked to him a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Spoke to him once after the plea, and what he pretty much explained or said was he would have had to win 6 times to not get life in jail.
Win 6 times? Because there were 6 different charges?
It was 3 different charges, but he would have had to beat those twice because they would have kept retrying him. It was the alleged threat on the director dude, the alleged theft, which Cat Williams had played out to with the photographer lady, and then the hit and run and the attempted murder cases.
Right, working with the life is over. I mean, but for Suge at his age, 28 years.
He's going to get out of like 78, I think, if you count time served or something like that.
Yeah, that's life sentence. I mean,
Yeah.
if he makes it, because I hear
makes
he's not
it.
in good health either.
Yeah. I actually thought he had a reasonable chance to beat it.
I felt that that he would have had a chance to beat Terry's because they said that they saw a gun brandished and that he was hit first.
Yep.
But then some other people said that he turned around, you know, after he had got away, he
And
turned
then
around and came
went back in, yeah.
which is kind of premeditated in a sense.
Yeah, plus it was kind of established that he was out there on the usual Suge fuck shit.
Yeah.
You know, pushing the line with people, trying to, you know, get
Yeah.
money out of
Dre and
you know, for
Ricky.
using his image and stuff like that. You know, it's one of those things where if you're going somewhere to essentially commit a crime and someone
Yeah.
dies in the process.
Then you automatically guilty of that crime.
Yeah.
Totally. I totally get that.
Yeah, and that's kind of how the Death Row story sort of ended, you know, with Suge.
Yeah, it
Getting
was
28
amazing
years.
that Suge had a run. I could have hooked up with Suge. You know, when I got out in '93, the Suge offered to help me too. You know, with the theater. You know, I was trying to open up the old theater over on Crenshaw and Adams.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to do a hip hop theater, and Suge had offered to help me. But then me and Harrio was talking every day, and Harrio and Suge had fell out, I guess, and he told me, "Just hold up on Suge, I got you." And you know, before I could make any moves, I went back to prison.